This strategic briefing is authored by Danny Kessler, associate professor at Dongso University and Korea's first PhD in wellness tourism. A tree is rarely evaluated as a clinical engine. Standard development models treat it as aesthetic landscaping, a pleasant visual backdrop for hospitality. Under a strict strategic framework, that exact tree operates as a certified medical asset. Historically, the wellness industry has operated on a highly destructive economic premise. Operators rely on massive, high-risk capital expenditure to manufacture a destination from the ground up. This requires bulldozing actual functioning ecosystems to build artificial healing resorts in their place. In financial terms, this structural model is known as 부동서 개발, or real estate development. The modern alternative discards the construction phase entirely. It utilizes mature public ecosystems. Delivering high-value medical tourism does not require building new biomes from scratch. The objective is to physically and legally connect private operations to natural capital that already exists. The future of wellness tourism bypasses traditional real estate development in favor of leveraging pre-existing natural capital as core infrastructure. The question is, what exact biological mechanism turns a public forest into a clinical asset? The process begins with the organic compounds released directly by the forest canopy. Inhaling these compounds triggers an immediate physiological reaction, a rapid reduction in central nervous system stress. This visualizes the human body's stress center. Exposure to the canopy forces a sharp neurological downregulation of the sympathetic nervous system. Simultaneously, there is a concurrent activation of the body's rest and digest response, marked here as the 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗃. This exact neurological shift is defined clinically as biological downregulation. By suppressing the stress response, downregulation clears the accumulated neural friction from the patient. This frictionless state physically prepares the human body to receive medical intervention. The natural biological preparation phase occurs outside, entirely separate from the artificial, high-margin clinical treatments that follow indoors. Private medical facilities require patients to achieve this pre-regulated state because it allows their specialized treatments to work at optimal efficacy. The forest ecosystem acts as an irreplaceable biological primer. It physically readies the patient to extract maximum benefit from private clinical services. To see how this biological sequence maps onto regional macrogeography, we look at Jeju Island. Embedded within the coastal infrastructure is Seogwipo, the exact location where this economic engine operates with high precision. The public natural asset powering the engine is the Seogwipo Healing Forest, or 𝗙𝗶𝗿_cie_. This is a strictly controlled clinical environment, maintained through security checkpoints and rigorous daily capacity limits. Directly adjacent to this perimeter is its private counterpart, the 𝗙𝗶𝗿 Medical Spa. The functional framework connecting these two locations is asset coupling, or 𝗤𝗏𝗀. Within this coupling, the public sector executes pure environmental conservation. It manages the volume control required to protect the biological output. The private sector manages the opposing end, funding and operating this specialized medical infrastructure. The client physically journeys straight through this coupled system. They transition directly from a certified natural forest therapy path into a clinical indoor hydrotherapy room. Despite crossing the legal boundary between government and private ownership, the patient experiences this as one continuous, unbroken healing protocol. The public sector lacks the capital to build the clinical hydrotherapy component. Conversely, the private sector lacks the geographic scale required to biologically prime the autonomic nervous system. High-value wellness tourism is only generated at the exact structural intersection of public environmental assets and private medical infrastructure. For a professional operator in the wellness industry, the economic lesson dictates a shift in strategy. The modern approach demands an asset-light strategy. This functions as the complete antithesis of mega-resort development. The core maneuver of this strategy is legally linking to existing public capital, known as 공공자본연계. This linkage functionally eliminates catastrophic capital risk for the private developer. Operators maintain premium clinical pricing because they deliver a multi-layered health protocol, despite owning a fraction of the physical footprint. However, there is a severe operational vulnerability built into this exact system. The strict limitation is absolute dependency on public policy and environmental volume control. If public policy fails to protect the biological integrity of the forest, the entire sequence breaks. If the natural primer fails, the private medical margin collapses instantly. The mandate to the wellness industry is absolute. Utilize public assets, but relentlessly protect the natural capital. The modern wellness model requires operating with the rigor of a biological scientist and the economic efficiency of an asset-light professional. This concludes the Wellness Tourism Strategic Briefing.